こんにちは、みんな。こんにちは、大統領。どうもありがとうございます。あなたもこの紳士をご存知でしょう。彼は私たちの時代の本当に偉大な伝説の一人です。始める前に、ジョージア州スチュワートでの銃撃事件について少しお話ししたいと思います。ご存知の通り、今朝11時頃、5人が重傷を負い、2人が非常に重傷を負いました。銃撃犯は現在拘留されている。そして陸軍、
And the Army Criminal Investigation Division is on site to ensure that the perpetrator of this atrocity, which is exactly what it is, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The entire nation is praying for the victims and their families, and hopefully they'll fully recover. And we can put this chapter behind, but we're not going to forget what happened. We're going to take very good care of this person that did this horrible person. This afternoon, we're pleased to welcome to the White House one of the great and most esteemed business leaders and geniuses and innovators anywhere in the world, Apple CEO Tim Cook. Amazing job. Thanks as well to Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick for being here. Wherever you may be. Today, Apple is announcing that it will invest $600 billion, this with a B, in the United States over the next 4 years. That's $100 billion more than they were originally going to invest. And this is the largest investment Apple has ever made in America and anywhere else. And it's just an honor to have you. As you know, Apple's been an investor in other countries a little bit. I won't say which ones, but a couple. And they're coming home. $600 billion. It's the biggest there is. The company is also unveiling its ambitious new American manufacturing program, which will bring factories and assembly lines across our country all roaring to life. Areas that were not doing so well are doing very well. We have about $17 trillion coming into the United States, which is more than ever before. It's never even come close. There's never been anything like it. Even you, that's even a lot of money for you. But we have commitments of more than $17 trillion as of a couple of weeks ago. These investments will directly create more than 20,000 brand new American jobs and many thousands more at the Apple suppliers like Corning, Broadcom, Texas Instruments, and Samsung all deal in that world. As part of this historic commitment, Apple will massively increase spending on its domestic supply chain for the iPhone and will build the largest and most sophisticated smart glass production line in the world in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, which is a great, actually, I did very well there. I like it because I see I did very well there. I did very well in Kentucky, but it's a great place. You're going to be very happy. I thought maybe while we're up, I'll interrupt my own speech by you might show them a little bit about the product that you're going to be doing in Kentucky. Yes, please.
はい、お願いします。このボトルはここアメリカ、カリフォルニアで作られました。このガラスはコーニング社の生産ラインから出荷されます。これはトランプ大統領のために刻まれています。それは一つのユニークなユニットです。これは現在アップルで働いている元アメリカ軍兵隊上等兵によって設計されました。彼はよくやった。あなたのために設計しました。台座はユタ州産です。24カネ製です。私が勝手に設置させていただきます。さて、そこです。おめでとう。素晴らしい。ケンタッキーの偉大な人々。ここはビジネスをするのにも最適な場所だとお分かりいただけるでしょう。素晴らしいですね。それは素敵じゃないですか。私たちは現在、他の国、遠く離れた国ではなく、米国でこれらのことを言っています。これは大量の資本注入によってアメリカ合衆国で販売される iPhone アメリカ製となるようにするという最終目標に向けた重要な一歩です。今日は発表ですね。Apple はまたヒューストンに25万平方フィートのサーバー製造施設を建設し、
and invest billions of dollars to construct data centers across the country from North Carolina to Iowa
オレゴン州まで全米各地にデータセンターを建設するために数10億ドルを投資する予定だ。それは大きなことだ。アップルは最先端のメーカー、経済圏も開拓する。それはデトロイトの製造アカデミーになる予定で、そこは成功するには素晴らしい場所です。そうですね。ミシガン州とデトロイトでは大きな出来事が起こっています。彼らがやってくるのは、私たちが素晴らしい大きな美しい法案と呼んでいるこの法案をやったおかげです。一言付け加えると素晴らしいです。しかし、私たちはおそらくこれまでに可決された中で最大格最も包括的な法案を可決しました。これは
unbelievable numbers of jobs and no jobs on think of this, whether it's tips or overtime or social security, no tax. So no tax on tips, no tax on social security, no tax on overtime. And it's just a small bit of it. For Apple and others businesses, you're talking about the deductions and all of the things. And actually for people that go out and buy a car, first time it's ever been done, we talk about deductions for companies, but they're going to be able to deduct interest when they borrow money to buy a car if it's made in America. It has to be made in America. So it is amazing. And one of the reasons I think I can say that Apple's coming here is the legislation we just passed with this kind of investment. Apple will also open other facilities, rare earth magnets from Texas, and build. Oh, I love that you're doing this. I love that. I love that. And build a brand new rare earth recycling line in Mountain Pass, California. I know that area. That's where they have a lot of truly rare earth. That's fantastic. I love that. And Apple will help develop and manufacture semiconductors and semiconductor equipment in Texas, Utah, Arizona, and New York. For years, Americans have watched as many of our leading tech giants built their factories overseas and exported American jobs abroad. But under the Trump administration, we're doing everything possible to make this the best place on earth to build a factory or grow businesses. I'm allowing them to build electric producing plants with their factory because otherwise they'd have to hook into the grid. And I think it's one of the biggest things we've done where you can build your own electricity. You become your own electric manufacturer. And that goes along with the plan, so you become a utility. So congratulations, now you're in the utility. I hope they don't value your company based on utility, but that's okay. You're going to be making your own electricity, and as you probably know, for much of this and many of the things that we're doing, especially the AI, they would need actually double the electricity that the country now produces for everything. So it's massive electric, and they're going to be able to make their own, and they're getting very fast approvals. Lee Zeldin is doing a fantastic job, including with a 100% expensing on the one big, beautiful bill. In return, we're asking our businesses to invest in America, and they're coming in at levels that we've never seen before. So I don't know when it shows up, but there are a lot of factories and a lot of plants that are either under construction or soon will be starting construction. So can't tell you exactly when, but I want to be around in about a year from now and 2 years from now, because we're going to see an explosion, I think, like this country has never seen before. Never. Today's announcement is one of the largest commitments in what has become among the greatest investment booms in our nation's history, and we've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. You know, I told you the story that, and Tim, I'll tell you, but I went to the Middle East and I was with Qatar, I was with UAE, and the King of Saudi Arabia, all great leaders. And then I went to NATO and saw many great leaders. We just finished that about 4 weeks ago. Virtually everyone said, in effect, that we were a dead country 1 year ago. America, this was a dead country. We were dying, we were dead. And now you've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. This would have never happened except for certain people. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. NVIDIA is investing $500 billion to go along with Apple, $600 billion. Micron, great company, is investing $200 billion. IBM is investing more than $150 billion. SoftBank is investing substantially more than $100 billion. TSMC is investing $200 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $55 billion. Merck Stellantis and General Motors are putting many, many billions in. They haven't determined the final number. And many other countries are investing tens of billions of dollars that I'm not going to give you the whole list because the list is too long to read. But it's hundreds of billions and even trillions. I mean, it's trillions of dollars is being invested right now. Last week it was announced that our economy grew at 3% in the second quarter. And consumer confidence is surging. Blue-collar wages are rising rapidly. Costs are way down. You know, I listen to these horrendous frauds on CNN and various other fake news networks. And they say costs are up. No, costs are down. Gasoline is down. It's going to soon, I believe, be less than $2 a gallon. It's around $2.40 right now. Many places other than California where they tax you out of business, but and a couple of others. But gasoline is way down. The price of groceries are down. How about eggs? When I first came here, my first week, the press hit me very hard on eggs. Eggs had quadrupled or something. I said, I didn't know about it. Give me a chance. I've just been here for 4 days. Well, eggs are down. Everything's down. Price is down. The only thing that's up is stock prices. That's really up, and that's through the roof. The stock market has been hitting all-time records, all-time highs. Last week it was announced that our economy grew at levels that we haven't seen in a long time, but the real levels of growth are going to be judged in a year from now when you start seeing some of these incredible plants, because we have car plants opening. They're coming in from Canada, from Mexico, and from all over the world. And they're coming in because they like the way the election worked out, but they also like the fact that they don't want to pay tariffs. And the tariffs, I think, we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. I won't be so specific other than to say, because we don't even know what the final number is. We just made a deal, as you know, with the EU, where they're paying hundreds of billions of dollars. Japan paying hundreds of billions of dollars. And numerous other countries paying hundreds of billions of dollars. And we're not even completed there. And as you know, they found 25 billion 3 weeks ago. They said we have a surplus of $25 billion. And they said, where did this come from? I said, check the tariffs. And they checked. They said, you're right, that's where it came from. And we've really just started. This is just in its infancy. So we have a great country. We have a country that is going to be very rich. It's a country that we're very proud of, but it's going to be very rich. And it's companies like Apple, they're coming home. They're all coming home. And we want them to come home. They have to come home. We're going to treat them really well. We're going to be putting a very large tariff on chips and semiconductors. But the good news for companies like Apple is if you're building in the United States or have committed to build, without question committed to build in the United States, there will be no charge. In other words, we're not going to be charging. So a lot of countries, a lot of companies are leaving various other places and they're coming to the United States. So in other words, we'll be putting a tariff on of approximately 100% on chips and semiconductors. But if you're building in the United States of America, there's no charge, even though you're building, and you're not producing yet in terms of the big numbers of jobs and all of the things that you're building. If you're building, there will be no charge. So I just want everyone to know that. And I didn't even tell you that inside. We discussed the concept, but I didn't. So it's a big factor. So 100% tariff on all chips and semiconductors coming into the United States. But if you've made a commitment to build, or if you're in the process of building, as many are, there is no tariff. Okay? If for some reason you say you're building and you don't build, then we go back and we add it up, it accumulates, and we charge you at a later date. You have to pay, and that's a guarantee. So that's a big statement, and I think the chip companies are all coming back home. They're all coming back. You know, we started with Intel, and gradually Intel was just taken over the coals. They were taken to the cleaners, frankly, and moved to other places, in particular Taiwan. But I think a lot of those companies are coming back, and they're coming back very rapidly, so that's a big statement, 100% tariff. I want to thank you very much. Tim, would you like to say a few words about your company, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. President, thank you very much for having me here today. You've been a great advocate for American innovation and manufacturing. I'm grateful for your leadership and your commitment. That's a commitment we share at Apple because American innovation is central to everything we do. Our products are designed here, we're hiring and growing here, and we support 450,000 jobs with thousands of suppliers and partners in all 50 states. Earlier this year, we made our largest ever spending commitment, $500 billion to the U.S. over the next 4 years. That's already yielding results. Earlier this year, we broke ground on a new factory in Houston to make advanced AI servers. And just last month, the very first test unit rolled off that factory's line, proudly made in America. President Trump shared some kind words about that work, but he also asked us to think about what more we could commit to doing. And Mr. President, we took that challenge very seriously. I'm glad to be here with you today, and I'm very proud to say that today we're committing an additional $100 billion to the United States, bringing our total U.S. investment to $600 billion over the next 4 years. As a part of this, we're launching Apple's American Manufacturing Program. It will spur even more production right here in America for critical components used in Apple products all around the world. And we're thrilled to announce that we've already signed new agreements with 10 companies across America to do just that. First, with today's announcements, I'm proud to say that Apple is leading the creation of an end-to-end silicon supply chain right here in America, from design to equipment to wafer production to fabrication to packaging. In Texas, we're working with manufacturers like Texas Instruments, Global Wafers America, and Applied Materials. We're working with Amcor in Arizona and Broadcom and Global Foundries in New York. Thanks to President Trump's vision, and with his help in his first term, we also led the way to bring TSMC to Arizona by committing to be their first and largest customer. Today, they're producing tens of millions of chips for Apple using one of the most advanced process technologies in America today. We're going to keep working with our suppliers to move even more of this incredibly advanced work to America. And this year alone, American manufacturers are on track to make 19 billion chips for Apple in 24 factories across 12 different states. Second, we're committed to buying American-made advanced rare earth magnets developed by MP Materials, which will become part of Apple's devices shipped around the world. MP is the only fully integrated rare earth producer in the United States, and with this partnership, they'll be significantly expanding their flagship facility in Fort Worth, Texas. We're also thrilled to work together on a cutting-edge rare earth recycling line in Mountain Pass, California. And third, in Kentucky, we've worked with our partners at Corning to build the world's largest and most advanced smartphone glass production line. And I'm pleased to announce that very soon, this is for the first time ever, every single new iPhone and every single new Apple Watch sold anywhere in the world will contain cover glass made in Kentucky. In addition to the American Manufacturing Program, we're also significantly growing our investments in AI, including expanding data center capacity in North Carolina, in Nevada, in Iowa, in Arizona, and Oregon. So we're going to keep making investments right here in America. We're going to keep hiring in America. And we're going to keep building technologies at the heart of our products right here in America. Because we're a proud American company, and we believe deeply in the promise of this great nation. Thank you all, and thank you, President Trump, for putting American innovation and American jobs front and center. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
本当にありがとうございます。感謝します。彼は素晴らしい仕事をしました。 素晴らしい仕事
I
で
want to
す。
thank you
本
very
当に感
much,
謝していま
and
す。そして
thank you,
ジェレリーにも
JD,
協
for
力していただ
helping
き
along.
ありがとうございまし
Good
た。
job.
素晴らしい
Really
仕
good
事でし
job.
た。本当に素晴らしい仕事
Any
です
questions,
何
please?
か質問はありますか
Yes.
大統領、あなたは選挙運動中に製造業のルネッサンスを実現すると約束されました。就任後、7ヶ月ほどで17兆ドルの投資について言及されました。このような投資やあなたが提案した他の投資についてどのように考えているのかお話しいただけますか。あなたに投票を託したなら100万人ものアメリカ国民にいい影響を与えるでしょうか。どうもありがとうございます。それは
I mean, our
私た
country
ちの
is
国を変え
a
ます。
very
つま
different
り
country
私た
than
ち
it
の国は
was
6ヶ月前
6
とは全
months
く違う
ago.
国になっています。
And
そして君のような人たちが
people like Tim are coming. We had Micron in yesterday. We had all of the big great companies that you read about, you don't know
けれど
about,
よ
but
く
you
耳に
read
する大
about.
企業が全てきました。
Many of them
その多
were
くは
making
国内で製
products
品を作っていま
outside
した。
of our
愚
country.
かにも私
Foolishly,
たち
we
は彼ら
lost
を
them.
失い
If
ま
we
した。
had the right
もし
person sitting in
適
that
切な
seat,
人
that
物
would
が
have
その席に
never
座っていたら
happened 20 and
20
30
年
years ago.
30年前には決して起こら
When
な
you
かった
look
でしょ
at the
う。
chip business,
半
it
導
would
体
have
ビジネスを見て
never
みるとそれは決してアメリ
left
カから
our
出ていかなか
shores.
った
We
で
had
しょう。
100%
当
of
初は半
chips
導体の
originally,
100%
and
をア
then
メリカが独占してい
we
ましたが
slowly got
その後
taken
徐
down
々
to
にゼロになっ
nothing.
ていきました。アメリカには
We have the biggest
最大
chip
の半導体企業
companies, the both of them, but we have the biggest in the
世界
world
最大の
coming
企
in.
業
They're
が参
going
入
to
してきています
Arizona and
彼らはアリ
beyond.
ゾナ州やそれ以降の地域に進出しています。
And we're going to
そ
have
して
in
短
a
期間
short
でゼロからス
period
ター
of
トした
time, we'll
私た
be
ち
up
の
to
半導
almost
体のシェアは
50%
ほぼ
of the chips
50% になる
from
でしょう。
starting
それ
at
は確かに
nothing. And
大きなことです。
that's something.
しかし
But we have the greatest
世界有
companies
数
in
の
the
企業が
world
我が国
coming
に進
into
出して
our
きて
country, and
それ
that
は雇用
means
とともに意味し
jobs, and it
富は
means
国民の
wealth,
安全を
and
意味し
wealth
ます。
means security for our
わかり
people.
ました。
Okay? Brian?
Yes, sir. Congratulations on this investment.
トランプ大統領、今回の投資、そしてアメリカ第一主義の素晴らしい例に心よりお祝い申し上げます。これらの雇用を集めるための労働力はどのようなものになるでしょうか。これらの雇用を集めるのに十分な熟練したアメリカ人労働者入るでしょうか。確かに
Well,
多
we
く
do
の
have a lot
労
of
働者がいま
workers,
す。
and we have a lot
正
of
直なところ、
workers that
仕
hadn't
事を
been
探す意
looking
欲がな
for
かったため
work
に仕事を
because
探
they
していな
were
かった労働者もたくさんいます。
disincentivized,
君のような人
frankly.
々は
And people like Tim
素晴らしい
have
学校や訓練センタ
tremendous
ーを
schools and training
建設
centers
し
that
多
they
くの大
build along with a lot of their
規模な
big
工場で
plants
人
where
々を
they
訓練し
train
て
people on whether it's glass, like in Kentucky, or computers, or whatever they might be doing. It's a complex world, and they train people, and they do a great job. So it's a whole new workforce. Now, we have a lot of them in energy because, you know, they've always liked energy. As you know, coal has opened up and opened up big. We brought it back and brought it back in a very large way. You know, China's right now building 58 coal-fired plants, 58 big ones. And here we were saying we don't take coal. We have more coal than anybody else in the world. We have more oil and gas than anybody else in the world. But we have tremendous energy jobs, and the energy, as you know, we're booming with energy. And that's why the gasoline prices are down. The costs are down. I just hope when they watch these shows, I watch this, I won't use names because I just make them better known that nobody knows who they are. But I watch this group of people on CNN and MSDNC too, the same thing, where they say, well, costs have gone up. Costs haven't gone up, they've gone down. I'm telling you, the thing that's gone up is stock prices, and success of our country. Our country is really doing well, successful. Yes, ma'am.
そうです。大統領、プーチン大統領とザリンスキー大統領は同意しましたが、首脳会談はまだですか。
Well, there's a very good prospect that they will.
可能性は非常に高く、
And we
場所
haven't
はまだ決まっていま
determined
せん。
where, but we
が
had
今日プ
some
ーチン
very
大統
good
領と非
talks
常にい
with
い会談ができ
President
ました。
Putin today. And there's a very good chance that we could be ending the round, ending the end of that road. That road was long and continues to be long, but there's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon. Excuse me? Well, look, I don't want to say it. I've been disappointed before with this one. You know, we've solved 5 wars, plus add to that Iran, where we wiped out their nuclear capacity for weapons. They would have had a weapon within 2 months, maybe less, and that was totally obliterated. It turned out it was a total obliteration. And the pilots and the people that did that job are really, we have the greatest armed forces in the world, but that was really something. In fact, there's a model of the plane right there. So, you got to bring that up, Susie. We have to see that. Look at this. This was just given to me. You know, we ordered brand new B-2 bombers. This is a plane that over a period of 36 hours of constant flying. Look at this. So this is the brand new one they just ordered. Similar, but actually quite different. It's new and enhanced. It's an amazing machine. It went 36 hours. We had 52 tankers up in the air loading up our planes because this was surrounded by F-22s and F-35s, and it was flawless. Tim, even you would say it was flawless. And every one of those bombs hit their target. And then we had Tomahawks shot in from a submarine 300 miles away. And they hit every single Tomahawk hit its target. It was amazing. And that was a big threat. That was a nuclear threat. And here's the new one that we just ordered. A large number of them. I'll put it.
What was the breakthrough today? Did Vladimir Putin make some kind of concession that he hasn't been willing to make before?
I don't call it a breakthrough. I mean, we've been working on this a long time. There are thousands of young people dying, mostly soldiers, but also, missiles being hit into Kiev and other places. But in terms of soldiers, I think Russia's lost over 20,000 since the beginning of the year. 20,000. And I guess the estimate for Ukraine is about 9,000. It's a terrible situation. We want to get it stopped. We don't have American soldiers there, but I feel I have an obligation to get it stopped. This was not my war. This war would have never started, not even a chance. And it didn't start for 4 years. It went 4 years and it didn't start. But this is Biden's war. This was on his watch. And it's funny, we had no land was taken from Trump. It was taken from Bush. It was taken from Biden. The whole thing would take from Biden. Worked for us. But it was, and it was taken by Obama. Take a look at what was taken with all of the land that was taken. Nothing was taken by Russia from us. Not 1 ounce of land was taken. I'm here to get the thing over with. It would have never started if I were president, and we're here to get it stopped and get the death stopped. Yeah, please.
大統領、あなたは以前、プーチン大統領があなたに対して間違った行動をとっているかどうかわかるとおっしゃいました。今回、彼がそうしている、あるいはしていないという確信はどこから得たのか。
Can't answer the question yet. I'll tell you in a matter of weeks, maybe less. But we've made a lot of progress, and as you know, we put a 50% tariff on India on oil. They're the second largest. They're very close to China in terms of the purchase of oil from Russia. But so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but we've had very productive talks today. Yes, ma'am.
はい、トランプ大統領、ワシントン DC の連邦化について、ワシントン DC 警察の引き継ぎを検討されていますか。
We're considering it, yeah, because the crime is ridiculous. I could show you a chart comparing DC to other locations, and you're not going to want to see what it looks like. It was just up on television, actually, they were showing it. Now, we want to have a great, safe capital, and we're going to have it. And that includes cleanliness, and it includes other things. We have a capital that's very unsafe. We just almost lost a young man, beautiful, handsome guy that got the hell knocked out of him the night before last. And I'm going to call him now. We wanted to give him a little recovery time. We just put a call into him. They're calling back a little while, but he went through a bad situation, to put it mildly. And there's too much of it. We're gonna do something about it. So whether you call it federalized or what, and that also includes the graffiti that you see, the papers all over the place, the roads that are in bad shape, the medians that are falling down, the median in between roads that's falling down. We're going to beautify the city. We're going to make it beautiful. And what a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
Do you want Congress to look at overturning the DC
We're going to look at that. In fact, the lawyers are already studying it. We have to run DC. This has to be the best run place in the country, not the worst run place in the country. And it has so much potential. And we're going to take care of it. You're going to be safe. You're going to be safe walking down streets. You're not going to get mugged. Well, we'll determine that later, but right now they're paying a 50% tariff. Okay? Yeah, please.
One for Mr. Cook as well.
Yeah, please. Sure.
The president wants a made in the USA iPhone. What are the chances that you can actually make that happen?
多くの半導体を製造しています。ガラスもここで製造しています。ケース、ID モジュールもここで製造しています。つまり、大量の部品があります。 そして、これらは世界中で販売される製品にも使用されています。つまり、そこにはアメリカ産の部品が多く含まれています。しかし、米国産の部品についてはどうでしょうか。全体ですか。私たちは非常に誇りに思っています。全体というのは、あなたが注力している最終組み立てだけで、しばらくは別の場所で行われるということですが、彼はここで多くの部品を製造しており、私たちはそれについて話し合ってきました。
And we've been talking about it, and the whole thing is set up at other places, and it's been there for a long time. So in terms of cost and all, but I think we may incentivize him enough that one day he'll be bringing that. But he brings most of the stuff. Look, he's not making this kind of an investment anywhere in the world, not even close. He's coming back. I mean, Apple's coming back to America. Thank you.
Indian officials have said that there are other countries that are buying Russian oil, like China, for instance. Why are you singling India out for these additional
It's only
sanctions?
been 8 hours. So let's see what happens over the next.
Sanctions.
You're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions. Yes, ma'am.
You were the driving force behind Operation Warp Speed. These mRNA vaccines that are the gold standard. Now your health secretary is pulling back all the funding for research. He's saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, which puts him at odds with the entire medical community and with you. What is going on?
Research on what?
Into mRNA vaccines.
Well, we're going to look at that. We're talking about it, and they're doing a very good job. And you know, that is a pass. Operation Warp Speed was, whether you're Republican or Democrat, considered one of the most incredible things ever done in this country. The efficiency, the way it was done, the distribution, everything about it has been amazing. But, you know, that was now a long time ago. And we're on to other things, but we are speaking about it. We have meetings about it in tomorrow, actually tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and we'll determine. We're looking for other answers to other problems, to other sicknesses and diseases, and I think we're doing really well. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said many times that you want to stop wars in the Middle East. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu is contemplating reoccupying Gaza entirely. Is he defying you, sir, or are you giving him the green light?
Well, we have stopped wars in the Middle East by stopping Iran from having a nuclear weapon, and they are, you know, they can say they're going to start all over again, but that's a very dangerous thing for them to do, because we'll be back. As soon as they start, we'll be back. And I think they understand that. They're just words. But no, we've stopped a lot of wars in the Middle East. If you think about what we did with Iran, Iran was the perpetrator of hate, a very evil place, and I think it's going to be a lot different in the coming years.
インドへの制裁措置については中国に対してさらなる関税を課す同様の計画はありますか。それは我々の対応
Could happen. Depends on how we do.
実現する可能性があります。エンターテイメントに関する質問があります。数週間前、スティーブン・コレアは自分の番組を降板すると発表した。ハワード・スターンは彼とシリーズ XM ラジオがタバコを復活ことを発表した。エンターテインメント業界で行われてきたトランプゾーンのビジネスモデルはアメリカ国民だから廃業すると思いますか。
Well, it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked really for a long time, and I would say pretty much from the beginning, Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here, I could go outside in the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get, you know, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that. Howard Stern, it's a name I haven't heard. I used to do a show, we used to have fun, but I haven't heard that name in a long time. What happened? He got terminated?
Yeah, they're going to separate ways because I think what they're offering salary-wise is below what he's getting.
You know when he went down?
給与が彼が実際に得ている給与に比べて非常に低いと思うからです。彼がいつ倒れたかは、
When he endorsed Hillary Clinton, he lost his audience. People said, give me a break. He went down when he endorsed Hillary Clinton.
人々は勘弁してくれ。ヒラリー・クリントンを支持した時に失脚した大統領。あなたは連邦準備制の候補者を面接している総裁とすでに話をしました。
Scott and I and Howard, a lot of people, JD, we're all, look, we have some great candidates. It's probably down to 3. He doesn't want the job. He said, do you like this job better? I mean, he was a candidate, but
つまり彼は候補者だったが、彼はそれを受け入れるとは思わない。
I really don't
本当
think
に
he'd
彼がそれ
take
を
it,
受けるとは思え
actually.
ない。実際。ああ、そうだね。
Yeah,
本質的に私たち
essentially
はみん
we're
な
all from Wall
ウォール
Street,
街出
aren't
身者ですよ
we?
ね。
You know, when you
ご
get
存知
right
の通り
down to
ウォ
it,
ール
the term Wall
人々
Street.
という
Yeah,
言葉は
please.
はい、お願いします。あなた方は減税を恒久化しました。関税によって多額の外部収入がもたらされているとおっしゃいましたね。あなた方は EU、日本、韓国、その他多くの国々にかつて見たこともないほどの市場をアメリカ製品に対して開放しました。あなたのこのモデルが本格的に軌道に乗り始めた今、経済はどの
Well,
程
I
度成
think
長
the
することが
growth
期
is
待で
going
き
to
ますか？
be
そうですね、前
unprecedented.
例のな
I
い成
think
長
we're
に
going
な
to
ると
have
思いま
growth
す。
that's
信じられないほど
unbelievable.
の
Now
成長を遂げる
remember,
と
we're
思います。
building and just
覚えてお
starting
いて
to
ください。
build a lot of
私たちは
these
こうした素晴らしい
incredible
工場を
plants.
数を建設中で、
We
また
talked about the
建設を始め
electric
たばかりです。
facilities that we're building,
私たちが建設している電気設備について話しまし
the
た。
generating plants,
発電
electric
所、
generating
電力
plants
発電所
are
は
massive,
巨大で素晴らしいものとな
and
り、
they're going to be great,
余
and
剰
they're going to sell
電
excess
力を私たちの電
electricity
力網に売る
into
こと
our
になります。
grid.
つ
So
ま
we're
り
going to be
私たち
having
はこれ
much more
まで
electricity
よりもは
than
るか
we
に多く
ever
の電
had,
力
and
を利
those
用できるよう
plants
に
are
な
going
る
to
と
be
ともに、
taken
それら
care
の
of
発電所は
individually.
個別に管理さ
I
れる
know
ことにな
Tim
りま
is
す。
building
君の大
one
きな
in
工
one
場
of
の
his
一つでこれ
big
を製造しているこ
factories,
とは知ってい
but
ますが、
especially for AI, because
大
it
量の
needs
電
so
力を
much
必要とするため、
electricity.
特に
So
AI 向けに製造しているよう
I
です。
appreciate the
それで
question very
私はこの
much,
質問を
and
とてもあ
I
りがたく
think
思
the
っており、
growth is
成
going
長
to
は
be
前例のないものになると思います。
unprecedented.
Did you have a phone call with Andrew Cuomo? Did you speak to Andrew
さんに
Cuomo?
彼の話について電話しました
I
が
haven't.、
私はしていません。
Have you
いい
been
え、
briefed
していま
on
せん。
what Ghislaine
大統領、
Maxwell
ギリアン・
told
マクスウェルがトッド、フ
No,
ランスに
I
何を言ったか報告を受けましたが、
haven't.
いいえ、
I
していま
don't
せん。
know. I know
私はして
Todd
いま
is
せ
a
ん。
very
夫
respected
が法的に全
person
国、
all over
世界中
the
で非常に
country,
尊敬されている人
all
物であ
over
る
the
のは
world
私が知っている
legally,
ことです
so
が、
I
それ
don't
が話題
know.
になったかどうかはわかりません。
Yeah, please go
わから
ahead.
ない。はい、どうぞ。新しい悪い知事は一時的なものでしょうか。お
We're
そらく最初は
probably going to
臨
go
時雇
with
用
a
で、
temp
その後
and
正し
then
社
a
員になると思い
permanent,
ま
I
す。
think.
二人は
So the temp is going to be named, I'd say,
次
over
の
the
期間
next
以内に
2-3
臨時雇用者
days,
の名前
and
が
then
決ま
we're going to
り、
go
その後
permanent.
正し社員になる予定です。二人のケビンは議長の常任の座の最有力候補でしょうか。そうです。
Well,
この二人のケ
the
ビン
two
は
Kevins are
本当に素晴らしい
absolutely,
人たちです。
they're both very good.
大統領、二人
The
のケ
two
ビンはとてもいいで
Kevins,
す。
very good.
大統領、フランス副大統領は今晩、アブスタインの状況にどう対応するかを話しし合うための集会を主催されるのです
Is he working on
が、
what?
彼は何に取り組んでいるのですか。彼は今晩、エプスタイン事件への対応について話しし合うために、最高顧問を集めた何らかの会合を主催するつもりなのでしょうか。
I don't know. I
わから
could
ない。
ask you that
私はあなたに
question.
その質問をすることができま
I
す。
don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
今日報道されていたのを見ましたが、完全にフェイクニュースでした。私たちはエプスタインの状況を話しし合うためにやっているのではないし、それを報道した記者は、もっといい情報源を見つける必要があると思う。いいか、全
Look,
部
the
がで
whole
ち上
thing
げ
is
た。
a
これは
hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the
我が国の
history
歴史
of
上
our
最も成功
country,
した6ヶ月を過ご
and
したため
that's
に民主
just
党が
a
発表し
way
たの
of
です。
trying to divert attention
完
to
全にデタラメ
something
なことに
that's
注意をそらす
total
ための単なる手段に
bullshit.
過ぎません。
Okay?
わかった。
Yeah,
はい、
please.
お願いします。ギャラップ社の最新世論調査によると、イーロン・マスク氏は現在、国内で最も不人気な著名人だという。彼がホワイトハウスにいるのが寂しいですか。それとも世論調査は正確ですか。世論調査が正確かどうかはわからない。彼はいい人だと思う。彼は嫌な瞬間を過ごしたんだと思う。本当に最悪な瞬間でした。ああ、でも彼はいい人だよ。大統領はその方針を堅持していると私は信じている。中国はロシアの石油に対する二次制裁の可能性に直面している。彼らが関税や制裁を受けるかどうかは今後の展開にかかっているのでしょうか。それは起こるかもしれない。つまりわからないんです。まだお伝えできませんが、お伝えすることはできます。私たちはインドと協力してそれを実現しました。おそらく他の活人と一緒にやることになると思います。そのうちの一つは中国かもしれない。はい。本日の会談後、ロシアに示した10日から12日間の期限は守られますか。そうです。私たちは今、それにかなり近づいています。ウクライナから撤退すること、それを解決すること、終わらせることについて、現在、非常に真剣な話し合いを言っています。始めるべきではなかった。
If I were
決して始まら
president,
な
it
かった
would
で
have
しょう。
never
もし私が
started. I
大
want
統
to
領だった
thank
ら、
Tim
それは
Cook.
決
He's
して
a
始まらなかっただろう。
great man, a visionary, a businessman, just about every quality you can have other than athleticism. I don't know. I'm looking at him. I'm not 100% sure about you. You're a good athlete. I'll bet you're pretty good. I think he's good at everything, but I want to thank you very much, Tim.
彼は全てにおいて優秀だと思いますが、
Congratulations.
ジムさんに
Thank
は
you
本当
all
に感謝
very
していま
much.
す。
Thank
ありが
you.
とうございます。おめでとう。皆様本当にありがとうございました。ありがとう。ありがとう。ありがとう。みんな。ありがとう。みんな。皆さんありがとう。ありがとう。ありがとう。すぐ後ろにいます。ありがとう。みんな。ありがとう。ありがとう。